Hello and welcome back to the 10th episode of How to Play Paragon. Today we're going to be looking at decks, deck efficiency, and how to build a deck with the most cards possible that will benefit you. For those of you who are trying to take the next step in deck building after the basics, this should be helpful for you. But let's just get straight into what you should be doing when you're making a deck. As usual, you're going to want to start to make a deck, so that's up towards the profile area, and then into decks, and then just create a new deck or work on one that you've already got. I'm going to select a new deck for Howitzer. Just click create, and then take the prime card that you think will fit with your specific hero, and then you come to the main deck building screen. And once we get here, we go ahead and add things like the health potion, the mana potion, the scout ward. They're my main go-tos that are really useful. You can add some strike tokens if you really want, or even maybe something like a bump juice. It's really useful if you need a little bit of a burst of health during a fight. It can help turn that around. But it's really up to what you want to be doing in the game. The first tip I'd give you when you're deck building is try and have an idea what your end result of your deck wants to look like. The last 6 cards are the most important for the end game, so you should be trying to think, how do I want to start building towards that, and what other cards can I put in the deck that will be beneficial for me when I need to get rid of them? How much points will I get back from that? And what will that give me in terms of getting the final cards? Will it complete the card or not? And another tip I can give you, although you may choose not to, is that I would always have some kind of shadow ward available in your deck. Personally, on Howitzer, I like to go for the Brawler ward because it gives a nice little boost of damage both when you add it and when you complete it. Plus putting some cheap mana upgrades on there means I can finish it really quick. I'm going to fast forward this a bit to show you the end result. I'm just now going to add 6 cards which I think I want to have at the late game. I personally play Howitzer as a glass cannon. I like to do tons of damage and try and win fights before they even start. Always have an end result in mind for your deck, that way you know what you're building towards and you know what you want. I personally find it a lot easier to do it this way around because that way you know your end result and what you're going to be working towards, rather than trying to start and think, well this card's good for the early game, but then I've got to try and count the cards to make sure that there's the right amount. And this way really you can just go, oh, I can just count the last 6 cards. If it adds up to 60 and my deck's already complete, I know that I've got 60 worth of cards in there. There's no worse feeling than getting into a game and then finding out that actually your deck isn't quite complete and you've got card points spare at the end of a game. It's just going to make it a lot more inconsistent. So as you can see, I've rejigged some of the cards. They now all add up to 60, so there's a maximum of 60 card points within a game, and that fits perfectly for this deck. But hopefully sooner rather than later, Epic will implement a system to count this for you. And what you want to do now is start thinking about your early game. Personally, as I said, I like to play him as a glass cannon, so I'm going to go straight for damage. This is a great card to give you some extra damage. Madstone Gem, easy, quick to upgrade, nice little power boost. Attack speed is also great for last hitting, so if I was laning and I thought, I want to keep this lane going a bit longer, could get some better last hitting capacity. Be good, get more card points, get more cards. Then you want to start thinking about how you want to ramp up to the late game. Starting to add more expensive cards, but not too expensive. Just something to get rid of late game, maybe take mana, or just choose to go pure damage. This deck kind of ramps up nicely. You've got quite a lot of 2-point, 1-point cards. It'll slowly start to gradually get more powerful. Easy to upgrade cards early and then swap them out, discard them, and then you'll get a nice little refund of card points. Add as many cards as possible, it'll help you in different situations. And really within your deck you should be thinking about what situations you might be in. Do I need bursts of heal? Do I need to have continuous heal? What kind of laning am I going to be doing? Am I mid lane? Am I off lane? Am I going to have 2 people, 1 person? It's really dependent on what you think you're going to be doing with that hero. And really that's all there is to think about when making a deck. You're just trying to make it as efficient as possible for you throughout the game. There's nothing worse than being sat there with card points that you're unable to spend, or you can spend but you're not able to fill the card for another 5, maybe even 10 minutes because the cards are so expensive, it's going to take you that long to get the farm for it. I will be going into decks a lot more once Monolith has been set in concrete. Right now it's a very new map, a lot of changes will no doubt be coming our way in the next couple of months. So once those have been done and everything's kind of smoothed out and the meta's starting to take shape and everything's starting to come together with Epic, I'll be willing to do that. But for now I'm trying to keep it more to the basics so it'll be more relevant even in the next year or so. Although that's really it for the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. And if you really like me, give me a subscribe. And I hope to see you here for the next tutorial.